Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
This is episode 262. Quite possibly maybe our shortest episode ever, but here we are for this episode. I'm not doing great, but you know what?
He's got his sexy night voice on, so he can only keep that up for so long, right?
It's true.
Justin was never one for endurance.
I love Discord. Are you seeing a delay?
Nope.
It's so annoying.
You just need bigger GBs.
Just need better Discords. Big shout out to our patrons. What?
I was going to say you could also restart your computer maybe once a month.
It gets restarted pretty often. Big shout out to our patrons. Thanks so much for everybody who resubbed up this week. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast, and it gets you more of us. I'm like trying to think.
Justin is thankful. He's just very sick.
I'm not all there, but thank you. We appreciate all your support, and it's lovely, and it gets you access to After Dark, and I think I covered the rest, but also...
And we're thankful.
Yes,
he covered that too.
It's Thanksgiving this weekend for us in Canada.
That's the only reason we are thankful for our supporters and our listeners. We love you equally. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to everybody.
To everybody.
We're smart. We have it a little bit a ways away from Christmas.
Yeah. Versus the Americans who are like everything.
That's right. So, we get a little bit of a break from family before we get back into family.
Yeah. Why do you guys want to do it so often? So close together. Maybe the American way is wiser. Sure, it's like a whole bunch right away, but then you're free. Except for like birthdays or anniversaries or other like family, you're like, that's it. New Year's.
No. And then there's
6
Easter.
days later.
Nobody. You hang out with your family at New Year's? I don't hang out with my family at New Year's.
Oh, family. I was thinking just people
in general. Oh yeah, no. I'm sure that the thought of people right now just exhausts you.
Yeah, it does. But also, I was going to say happy birthday to Ethan. It was his birthday a couple days ago, so happy birthday. 23. Come on. Get out of here.
Not a kid anymore, Just.
No, it's all grown up.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big kid now.
How was your week, Ty?
Good. Better than yours. I mean, I slept through most of it. This medication's still destroying me. I tore something in my shoulder. And
doing what?
I don't know. Because the pain medication that I'm on is like getting rid of like those little warning pains that I would normally get. Well, I'm not doing anything different, but I'm not getting the, hey, heads up, this is going to hurt
for a second.
A little bit more if you keep, whatever it is. And now I can't even use my right arm too. So I'm like chopping food with my left hand, and so I got to go get it checked out. But we've had a fantastic week. My wife and I celebrated our anniversary the other day. So
happy anniversary.
Thanks. Well, you guys did too, didn't you? Yeah, that was last week, though, so that's old news.
End of July.
Yeah. Oh, right. It was birthdays.
It's been a bit, yeah.
Oh, no, Christina came back. Anyway, busy stuff. Yeah. Lots of anniversaries around this time in our house, but for us, it was. So it's been 15 years.
Nice.
So that's pretty good, considering how gimped I am. She's probably going to
It's impressive she stuck around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
cool.
That's it. And we celebrated by watching the first episode of The House of Usher.
Oh, are you liking it so far? You just started?
I love...
Did
you ever watch the movie? That's true. Have you ever seen the movie Coherence? I recommended it to you a long time ago, but I never followed through. I love stories that take place in one area. You know what I mean? So there's a movie coming out actually. Oh, what's her name? Is it Cate Blanchett? Where it looks like the whole movie is like just one camera in a living room, and it takes place over a few years type of thing. Coherence takes place in a dining room, around a dining room table. I haven't seen I've only seen one episode of The House of Usher, and I love the idea. Like, it's two people talking, and then somebody's reminiscing and talking about stuff. So there's nothing wrong with the story, but it takes you back. And so you're actually seeing what the person's talking about as opposed to just listening to them. But I enjoy the idea of that kind of stuff. And I like the majority of Mike Flanagan's things. And though it sucks for every other actor in the universe, I enjoy it when certain directors or creators just have a thing for certain actors. So he reuses so many of the same actors over and over and over. And it is pretty fun because some of the kid actors have been around since some of the other shows that he's done, but more of them were more adult. Like there's not that many kid actors that could go through until you got to Midnight Club. Midnight Mass had a couple kid actors, and it's cool to see them sticking around, but Midnight Club revolved around kid actors or teen actors. And so now you see them there. There's more opportunity for them here. So it's really cool seeing all these returning actors. Some of them have been in every single one of his shows. And yeah, I enjoy that aspect. So I enjoy it probably more than I should.
Cool.
So but anyway, we watched that and then we went to bed. It was awesome. Happy 15 years, dear. Love ya.
That's cool. Congrats.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, but no, it's been great. My daughter had, like I'm kind of, my oldest kid is in grade 6. And so she's just starting to get into the assignments where you can only do them as homework, right? Okay, this is due this day. These are your rules. Have it done by this. You're not getting class time for it. So she just kind of had her first big homework thing, and we finished it up last night, and she's so proud, so happy. But then she also got braces this week, and that's a big deal for kids because it changes their diet dramatically and the things they can. It's good. She was really excited. It is, but then it started to get quite disheartening as she started. Like it's first braces for us. Aaron and I never had braces either, so we didn't know the ins and outs of the types of diet changes and what you could and couldn't eat. You know, so a lot of her favorite things she just can't have.
Ethan was crushed about popcorn.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He hated it. Because if you go to a movie, that's what he would have, is popcorn or whatever.
My daughter was, they said no chips.
At all?
No chips. Yeah. So we're going to go back and double check because I thought potato chips were fine. It was just like the tougher corn chips that weren't.
Yeah.
Even though it's actually the corn Tostito chips that she would just have with salsa or hummus a lot. But it was funny because we encourage the kids, like ever since they've been like a fetus, we've been encouraging them to do their own thing. And like, you know, at restaurants, they would order and they would show us the way to the bathroom at the restaurant, you know, just little fun things like that. And so we encouraged Violet to ask as many questions as she wanted with the orthodontists and that would meet with us. And the only question she ever asked was, can I have macaroni? Can I still have macaroni and cheese? And the answer was yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But anyway, she's super excited. She chose red.
Cute.
She chose her own braces, and
you can change that color too, right? Every time she has to go in for a thing, I think they can change the color. I know Ethan could.
Probably.
It wasn't often that you had to do that, but yeah.
Yeah. So she chose the brightest, shiniest braces. She chose the brightest, shiniest red, and she has the most fantastic smile with it. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of changes though, and a lot of, you know, like patient parenting, I guess, and comforting because, you know, the stress of
which can like start to hurt the inside of the gums too.
Yeah, your gums got to get used to the scraping, and so. You know, it's been a good week, wholesome family week of just pure love, just love.
Good.
Keep it short and sweet because Justin's throat is on fire. But how was your week, man? We didn't talk almost at all this week.
No, dude, this started on Saturday. I started to feel like, oh crap. Like, and Christina got it. So she was sick. So we like quarantined. She went and slept in the guest bedroom and I was like, don't wait, hold on. I know that I can pin it down to the date. It was Saturday night. That's when Christina came down with it. She comes down with it Saturday night and she felt it that evening and she was like, something's wrong. And I was like, crap, like I've been around you. She's out Sunday. Like she spent the whole day in the guest room out. And then on Monday, she wakes up. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fine.
Living the dream.
Yeah. I mean, in our bedroom, she walks into the bedroom and she's like, I think I feel fine. I think I can go to work. I'm like, you sound like death. Go back to bed. You're not going to work today. So I'm wrong. Mine didn't kick in until Tuesday. So she goes, no, it was Monday night. So she sleeps most of Monday. I'm like dealing with the kids. It's Ethan's birthday. I had a bunch of work to do. Monday night, I'm like, I feel something. I am sucking back pills even up to this point because I'm a prepper. You know, I know something's in my house. I'm going to take all the mushrooms, all the things that the garlic, all the weird bullshit stuff. I'm going to take it because I'm, there's a mental part of it. I'm not.
No vampires biting you when you're sleeping.
Monday night, I'm like, oh, something's not feeling great. And sure enough, Tuesday morning, I felt like death, but I have such a busy week. It's such a busy week. So I literally made sure all of my stuff was scheduled before noon and I moved stuff and sorted it all on the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday. And just like today, I hammered myself with pills. I was like, I'm going to take everything I can. If it says cold medicine, give it to me. If it's a mushroom, I'll take it. Like literally, even to the point I'm taking caffeine. Like I'm on caffeine right now too. Every single thing I could find just to get me to noon so that I could get out to appointments, get my stuff done for work, probably infect the rest of the world because I just needed to work. And
nice guy.
And then slept, man. I was in bed. Like one day I went to bed at like 3. I think I woke up at about 8 for an hour and then went back to bed all night.
Oh, it sucks because you feel like you waste a day, but then awful. Man, isn't it great at the same time? Like you wake up. No, you don't.
No.
Well, next time you have a week where all you do is sleep, give me a shout. We'll just cuddle up.
I was an achy, man. Like just, when you're aching, it's hard to fall asleep. But I never had any like nasal or throat stuff. I just felt, I had sinus like pressure, but just aches and my head feeling like it's going to explode. And then this morning is the first morning I woke up where my throat just felt like sandpaper. And I was like, come on, like I've 3 days. It should be enough. It should be over by now. So my week in general, like from 7:30 to 12:31ish, those were pretty good. I got a lot done in those days, in those times. But other than that, I slept and I didn't even really eat. I just went to bed. I started watching The Newsroom. It's an old show that I wanted to watch with Jeff Daniels, and it's always interested me.
I've heard phenomenal things about that.
Yeah, so I started that. We finished The Rings of Power last night. We watched the last episode before bed.
Okay, yeah, we can catch up on that now. In After Dark, sure. Maybe. But for the spoiler is still really pretty early.
Spoiler.
No,
not spoiling it for me. Maybe After Dark, it'll be a warning. But yeah, we finished that. So anyway, I started The Newsroom. I really like it. It's I just love the way that it's shot. I love the way that it's told. It's a really cool show. So I've been watching that when I'm just like in bed and I can't, or if I'm just out of it and can't do anything. But sure. I hate weeks like this. First off, I hate being sick. I would rather have back pain, honestly, than being sick, because back pain, I can just drug it up and it sucks, but I can move on. When you're sick, like there is nothing that makes you not feel sick while you're fighting being sick. You know what I mean? Like back pain, I can be stupid. I can take all the pills in the world to numb the pain and get through the day. A cold or sick or whatever it is that I've got, I can't. There's nothing I can take to get rid of it. And that pisses me off. So it's been a garbage week in general for like how I felt, but I did get a lot done, which is good. And you think I would feel rested, but I don't feel rested at all. I'm exhausted. But you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Hopefully I'm better by
There's
Thanksgiving.
Lots to be thankful for. We have lots to be thankful for.
Yeah, we do. We have a ton. Every single person said yes this year to coming to Thanksgiving.
What
which
is wrong with them? Why would they do that to you? Think about the host people. They're not actually wanting you to come over. They're just trying to be nice.
There's an episode in The Newsroom where they're having a party at Jeff Daniels' character's apartment to celebrate, and there's like 80 people there, and he does not like people. And the girl wants him to do a speech. And in his speech, he says, "I will not be offended if you choose to go home early." And I was like, thank you. But everybody
all he needs
yes.
is a magical ring to make him disappear on his 111th birthday or 111st birthday.
unlike him, I will escape to the bedroom and just not say anything. But yeah, they all said yes. And even, I mean, as you know, some of them are getting older, the nephews and nieces and stuff are like, can I bring my person? And Christine's like, yeah.
And Justin's like,
I'm like, what? So unfortunately, I may end up just existing. Well, not unfortunately for me. Unfortunately for
Christina. Stay sick, man. It's Friday right now. Are you hosting Saturday, Sunday, or Monday? Sunday?
Okay. Yeah. That's gonna make it till
yeah. Get better on
it
Monday.
Got worse today, so I'm not holding out, guys.
For the sake of Thanksgiving. That's right. Screw those pills. Screw the sleep. Try and stay up late.
Yeah. So there's like, I don't even know. It's like 25 or 26 people coming to our house on.
Why do you do that? Why do you have such a big family?
Why?
Tyler, when a man and a woman love each other.
That's right. So anyway, it is going to be Thanksgiving, and
he is thankful. Thankful for all of you. Thankful for family. Thankful for Canada. Just thankful.
I had to go out. So, I see you've got the lawn talk, which we always have. My lawn's actually doing pretty well, but I went outside. I had to leave to go to a meeting. So I can't remember if it was on Tuesday, maybe Tuesday, but my neighbor was across the street, and we made eye contact, which is never you don't always want to make eye contact.
You're screwed for 5 minutes when that happens, unless you're carrying a whole bunch of stuff.
Longer than 5 minutes. Oh, it doesn't matter. I was carrying stuff. Didn't matter. And but she's having issues with grubs, and so she was telling me all about her issues with grubs.
You're a pro at calling a guy.
I did. I told her. I said last year we had to do a bunch of digging up, then he had to treat it, and so she was in the process of digging all hers up and treating it. But I know that was Tuesday because I got stopped by her once or twice more through the week when I was arriving back home for an update on her grub situation, but we didn't have them, which is good. So no raccoons or crows pecking at ours, but the lawn looks good. The weather's been it's been a bit too much rainy, but we've still gotten some nice sunny days, and I love that.
Yeah, it is. It's getting quite cool. We're getting to about 5 degrees at night now, Celsius. But it is really nice. I'm really enjoying how my lawn looks as well. It's actually coming quite nicely.
Nice.
When the city was doing construction in front of our place, replacing the piping last month, 2 months ago, and then they had to replace the connection to the water to the house as well, or the the water connection to the house as well. So they dug into our yard, and so there was that. I mean, it's not like it's important, but there was a healthy strip of deep dirt that they had to dig out, and then they replaced the lawn, which is great. But that dirt has settled now, so there's it's a good 4 or 5 inches where it just. So I got to fill that in for next year when that starts. I won't do it when it's cold, no point. But I got to do that. And the moles have been at it big time.
Oh no!
Which is fine because it's great because my lawn's really hard and I want it to be softer. So it's great for it, but it just reinforced the thing where I'm just not going to bother reseeding once my seed is gone. I'm just going to mow right over it. I'm even going to take my lawnmower right through it if it's not that high of a molehill. But man, some of these molehills were so big that I had to kick them around. They were huge, and they would take up after I've finished spreading it out, which I'm not trying to spread it out, but I'm talking a nice thick patch of dirt that's 3 feet by 3 feet. They were huge. There was a mole that got in between the garage. It was digging under the garage. I don't know how deep all this stuff goes, but we had mole dirt that got shoved through the crack between the driveway and the garage. There's going everywhere, kicking dirt up. So, but it's looking good on our end too. I'm enjoying it. It's just tough to find a nice time because we mulch. So it's tough to find a really dry day now. You're just forced to mow when it's moist grass.
You got your 10-minute window.
Yeah. But I had a glorious walk with my son today. My daughter walks on her own now, and she's all, she's got her project, her space project wrapped in her garbage bag just in case it rains. Cause it's the Lower Mainland. You never know. It's just going to go for a little bit. Right. But, but I walk with my son to elementary school still. He's in grade 4, and he he was like, Dad, I like that lawn over there. And I'm like, why? He's like, it's short. And I'm like, well, you know, the problem with short lawns though, like take a look, you see a ton of weeds on there, right? He's like, yeah, so, and because he's thinking about playing sports, right? And then I'm like, well, you don't choose what weeds grow on your lawn. And so, you know, sometimes there's like those really annoying, really sharp weeds that grow. Sometimes we get a lot of them in the season. It actually depends on your winter, what kind of weeds grow in your lawn, right? And so if you have a lot of weeds in your lawn, you know, it's going to grow, right? And then, you know, if you're going to get the sharp ones, then it sucks for your soccer and your football and all that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, but Dad, I'm not talking about weeds. I'm talking about a short lawn. So I got to talk to him on the way to school about why we have a longer, about like root space and outgrowing things. And he was actually quite into it because he loves plants. When I give the kids the choice between which chores they're going to do for a couple hours on Saturday, if there's outside chores, he's always saying yes to those. So nice. He was more interested in it than not, but I did accidentally take up the whole walk explaining it. So I hope
as he's walking away, you're like, and don't forget to fertilize.
Yeah, that's right. So no, but it was pretty sweet. It's a good
funny
day.
You talk about the short grass. When I was chatting with my neighbor and her grub issue, because I've competed with this woman. You know, when we first bought the house, I was like, I can't be the house that doesn't have the nice lawn. And I wanted the short lawn because it looks great. And I said to her that when I talked to my guy, he had talked to me about just start cutting it higher because it will help for the grub situation as well. And she said that she was going to have to start doing the same thing. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh, man. Just I'm influencing everybody. It's great, Justin.
Well, I told her I was going to rip it out. I said, if I get grubs again, it's all coming out. And I'm just putting in the fake stuff.
I would love to see the fake stuff. It's hilarious. So they're doing some more road work. I swear our city's
everywhere.
Like,
it's right? So annoying.
There's a budget somewhere that they are desperate to meet for the province so that they can, I'm thankful. It's great. Once it's done, it's done.
No, except some of it's not even road work.
Well, I know all of our road work is getting so narrow because now they're putting bike lanes everywhere. And that's great and there's everywhere else. But these bike lanes last for like 3 blocks and then they stop magically.
In the dumbest places in the world that don't and then need them.
They magically start somewhere else. The poor cyclists have now it's just more dangerous for them.
Oh, it's way more dangerous for them.
Right?
But I can't believe how many roads
I'm safe. And then all of a sudden, no, I'm not safe anymore.
There's so many roads shut down for houses because they're like building lots or they're putting in... And I'm like, all right, there's got to be a rule. All right, bud.
No, it's just my shoulder. I swear it's like the pain medication because, I go to lift myself up in my chair and scoop my bum back and I can't feel it. Like there's no warning pain. And then so I'm like, and I forget, it's just, I've been lifting myself up in my chair for 42 years. And then all of a sudden it's like, my bum's off the chair. It's like, bam. And I'm like, God, son of a... Man, not swearing around the kids. Oh boy. So anyway, there's doing a lot of road work. There's lots of paint on the road from the city. They're doing all their great stuff, good stuff. But there's
we're so different.
House.
You're too nice.
Well, I walk everywhere, man. I'm complaining at the people like you that don't stop at my crosswalk. And you're like, what crosswalk?
I'm driving past your area, not yours specifically, but that area of town way more often just to try and be like, how do I avoid? Right. I feel trapped. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, it's good. So anyway, there's somebody with fake grass. Maybe they didn't do it properly, but they have weeds that grow through the fake grass every now and then.
Not mine.
But the city had to do some spray painting, right? To say, and they're got flags everywhere.
Oh, sure.
And normally when you get spray painted on your lawn, it doesn't matter. Grass grows, you cut it, but this is fake grass. And I got thinking, I'm like, oh, that's interesting because it's the city's prerogative. They can do whatever they want. Where we live, that's the prerogative.
First 3 or 4 feet of your driveway, lawn, yard is not yours. That's
they can do whatever they want
property.
With it. Yeah. And with the exception, unless you have a sidewalk side, then it's a little bit less, but still.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I wonder if that's like washable paint or if the people with the fake grass are screwed.
You just
have this permanent yellow line and circle on your lawn now. So
it's a good point. You make a good point. I'm going to just put hedges.
Yeah, but don't do juniper. And don't do cedar.
No, I have cedar all around.
Call me. I know you have a guy. Call me.
We have cedars all along the back.
I know, but just wait until they start dying, Justin. It is hell and it is expensive.
No, we would just cut them down, but they've been there for now close to 40 years, and ours, we've taken very, very good care of them, so they are very alive, very good. One thing I will say though is on our other side, when we had all the trimming done, there was one of the beautiful bush trees that Christina loved. It had this like purple flowering. It died. She's convinced our neighbor poisoned it because they wanted a better view, because they've asked us to cut it many times, and we're like, pound sand is we trim it properly. Anyway, it had to all get cut out. So we have to try and figure out what to plant there now. And she's like, I want the biggest bush.
That's great. That's awesome.
So we're looking into that. Anyway,
they're great in the back. They have so much soil, but when you do cedars, like those cedar bushes close to a street,
it's
and they have that concrete. They're so inconsistent. They can die. Like, do something different. Like, you know, the rhododendrons you have between those roadies are great.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice.
I was joking about along the front of the yard.
Do it, man.
I'm just going to put a big fence up. Anyway, this week in PoE.
Yeah. So Path of Exile is a game that we play. And I had a great time. I am going to be hypocritical. I don't know if it's hypocritical, but I relearned something that I'd already learned, but I've been going back and forth with it. And I also took the invasive adversaries notable on the Atlas passive tree. I've always wanted to. I just never had the space.
One's
that one? That's the one where it increases mob density a little bit, and then it also makes rares have a chance of being more difficult. Basically, it adds like some of the T17 mobs that would be on rares and allows them to be in your other maps as well, not just T17s. Mm-hmm. So added that. And did you know that someone at GGG does not get fun per hour? They don't. There's like, I'm going, like, you know how our attitude towards the private league, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are good at hardcore, but we pretend that everybody hates hardcore like us. And so we make our private leagues hardcore just to bother people. I swear there's somebody like that at GGG, and it's their job or their joy in life to have that attitude towards the generic public of their game. Because there is a mod, Justin, and I just discovered this because I just put on invasive adversaries. Like I said, I always wanted to have invasive adversaries. I just never had the space for it. But because there's that glitch on console where you can't zoom out on Delve, I unspec'd out of Delve completely. I mean, Nico still shows up, but I'm not going to waste having a few extra nodes there. So I ended up being able to easily invest into invasive adversaries. And there is a mod, Justin, that says casts Frostwall, then flees.
Yes, I know. It's awful.
And it doesn't say that they give it an extra 50% movement speed as well.
I think that's the flee, because it is so annoying. I just give up. If I see a Frostwall, I'm like, moving on.
Right. But then they follow you.
Sometimes they do. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they flee the other direction, great. But then, I mean, you couple that with something like you come across this, you can't control it. Oh, yeah. But then, or you get something like Abyss, and you're like running around in all these directions. Like, I'm trying to follow the Abyss, get these frost walls out of my way. I mean, but at least projectiles can go through it a little bit. But like, I actually had to take my zombies out. So this week, it was hilarious. At the same time that I go into invasive adversaries, I realized that like just that extra combo, especially when you couple it with blight, like just that density and then the rare mobs, my zombies, as packed as they can be, like they are, everybody knows survivability. They couldn't do it. I went from at the beginning of the league being like, oh, they can't handle league content, to, oh yeah, no, they can handle league content. I just need to make sure, like it was last week or the week before, you got to make sure, every detail is a big detail, even if you think it's little. And, that was something that, as an experienced PoE player, I should have realized. But then I come back and I add invasive adversaries, which is something that I should be able to do if I'm fully spec'd into this. So I'm like, anyway, my zombies were dying, and not just infrequently. Whenever I'd have a blight show up with the invasive adversaries notable, they were just getting massacred. And it sucked because, you know, I'm using specters as well, and they're a pain in the butt. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw this. I'm putting on Monts.
And just for just the person who might think this and comment it, I assume you're not spec'd into the thing where blight towers do more damage and you do less.
Oh, no. I haven't spec'd into blight. I just allow it. It's the base version. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I haven't played with Monts in forever. Right. I keep looking for these convoking wands and convening wands. So let's go into Monts. Let's have a great time. That's like 5,000 base life on top of the massive amounts of mitigation I already have. Nope, not at all. Zombies. And I'm using the zombies of slamming. I'm using the regular zombies. It just wasn't worthwhile. But then you throw in something like cast Frostwall and then fleas. And your zombies, you're like, like, what am I supposed to do? So it was there were some frustrating things. I can't believe something like that exists in the game. I know there's some builds that mutilate it.
Come on, of course it exists in the game.
When you have something like that, it's just another one of those things that's like, yep, damage first, range first. Like, you know, it's just one of those things. I mean, I know it's like just an option there, but T17s are the new T16s now. You don't want your build to peak at a T16. Everybody, because T17s exist and the new base types drop at item level 84, that's the base content you want your character to be capable of doing. So it was just kind of frustrating. So anyway, I went back to the Reaper and I've been playing around with it, and I've been doing a whole bunch of really fun, like permanent things, trying to see how it works with a Scion with the aggravate that's a little bit easier to use, but, you know, still adhering to my one button or my lazy play style. And like, I'm not married to one button anymore with the controller. And people, I'm not rambling. Like, this is stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I'm intentionally
nodding along
going because it's just Justin's sick and I don't want to screw up his voice for the rest of his work week and stuff. So, but yeah, I've been checking out the Champ and the Gladiator and the Elementalist and the Necromancer.
With the idea of using with the Reaper or what?
Yeah, all with the Reaper. And I played lots and lots and lots this week in general. And I played lots with the Reaper of Revenants, which is the triple Reaper. I played lots with the normal Reaper. I played lots with Monts, with zombies. I just went to town. I used up all so when you convert maps in standard to the new league, I don't know how it chooses, but it chooses like these maps are now converting into this map, but it's a different map type. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if like the same map has the chance of turning into multiple maps or only one map. I don't know how it works. It's their thing. So sometimes though, I get stuck with like the map device, or sorry, the map tab holds 72 maps of a specific, like of one map name. And so there's times where I'll end up with like 30 extra maps of a certain map type. So I've been going through Sepulture. I don't know if that's how you properly say it.
That's how I say it.
But yeah, so I've been going through that, and it was, and so I'm just nonstop, but it's dogery at the end. And I don't mind the layout though. I was fortunate that it's a nice right wall hugging layout, right? It's similar to Vault where you hug the right, go around, and then you can come back up through the middle. But not the funnest boss fight for sure. But either way, it was, it's good. It's a good test for character, for your own EPH and for your minion EPH. And
where'd you land? What'd you like?
It's just so much easier to not deal with corpses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, no matter what, it's just so much more carefree and careless to use the corpses. But I like the interaction of occasionally hitting a button. So the Reaper was just fantastic. And that bleed is so good. Like at the end of the day, it was just the normal Reaper, not the Revenants. It was the normal Reaper, not zombies of slamming. It just flows really well. It's nice. And I don't have to pay attention to it. If I don't feel like using the ultimate skill, it's still fine. It's still good. I'm going to add Rupture to it and then have take a little bit less life so I can have Precision on there, because Precision, I always forget Precision adds crit chance. You know, I always think of it for accuracy, but I do forget about the crit chance. And so still mulling over, endurance charges are just too powerful now. And so I really want to use, Battle Mage's Cry that does the crit chance, but it's my only way. Enduring Cry is my only way of getting endurance charges. That's tough. that's tough to get rid of. When you only have one minion just hanging around. Why would you
have to get rid of it?
Well, I'm not going to hit two buttons.
Okay, just wanted to double
frustrated.
check.
Yeah, no, like, because I'm already holding down X, and that's whatever war cry I'm using. Neither of those will give me what I want if I attach them to the what's it called? Auto exertion or whatever it's called. So I'm holding down X. That's already my war cry, and then Y is my ultimate skill for whenever I want it. And most of the time I'm holding down X and I'm just standing there. I'm not even looking at the screen, and I'm like looking at my phone, checking out like, well, could I update this? Could I change this? Could I, and I'm on PoE Planner. And so, but I've discovered I stopped being a subscriber to PoE Planner because the site was too glitchy and it screwed up a whole bunch of work that I was doing. Still works fine for new content, but I wasn't able to load my old content. But I feel guilty. I still use it all the time. So I'm like, I'm going to have to resub, even though because I'm the kind of like, I don't know how many people actually sub and support Path of Building. 100,000 people use it. Maybe they have 50 subs, right? Like, how many people use PoE Planner for their Atlas passive tree? And last time I checked, there was 4 people subbing. I mean,
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So anyway, no,
it's always a small percent though. That's always the case.
So I've just had a ton of fun, and this is mostly on paper, but I have had so much fun just going through the different ascendancies and just min-maxing, just the last little build that's going to take me through until PoE 2 comes out, with the assumption PoE 2 takes me from here on out as my personal gaming time. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Yeah, I really hope so. It seems like it's going to come out, even though it's a lot less content than they originally expected the beta to be released with. I still think it's going to be a lot more than... Or sorry, not a lot more. It's going to be enough for me.
Has there been anything new about PoE 2 since what's coming out since we talked? I didn't see that.
No, they are in Brazil, or were in Brazil, and so they had some people speaking in Portuguese, some of their Brazilian developers. I don't know if they're Brazilian developers that work for GGG in Brazil, or if they're Brazilian developers that just now live in New Zealand. But it was really cool seeing them. Like, some of them seemed very excited to be on camera and talk to them, and it looks like they were given a question of like, what do you want to say to your friends and family about this? And so it was really cool. It was fun hearing Portuguese again,
because you could understand forever.
Well, I couldn't the first time I watched the video. I was like, wait, and it was very difficult for my brain because I was trying to understand it while reading.
In Portuguese, do they also speak fast, like in Spanish?
Well, some can. The first girl was speaking like it was Spanish, and the other 2 people were speaking like they were speaking to somebody whose Portuguese was the second language. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And so, but I watched it again, and then I'm like, oh yeah, picking it up.
Nice.
But it was so yeah, they did that. But no, as far as I know, there wasn't any new news. But we're close enough now where I don't care what the news is. I'm just gonna like November 15th. Great. What's the price? Awesome.
No, but there's something right before, right?
Great.
Isn't there something like at the end of this month?
Yeah,
end of October.
Yeah, that the official reveal of what we assume is. Yeah, so that's what I'm really looking forward to. But I still have that PoE itch. Like, I still really want to play. So that's why I've been like fine tuning this Reaper business and stuff. So that's all. I've been having a really fun time
to not be on my computer all week. Like, unless it was to deal with emails, this is the first time for just like getting some work done. We are going to wrap up, but there was 2 things that you had in this week in PoE.
Yes.
One was the art runners competition runner up, which I didn't even remember the winners, but I did look back just to see it. Nice job, everybody. But I wanted to point out one thing on this one. Can you go to that link and then scroll down, but don't have you already hit all the unspoilers?
Nope.
Okay, go down to Black Knight comic by Zeshio.
It's a comic. Make this one bigger.
It's a comic. Like, there were a bunch of them that they did. I mean, there was a painting of Faustus, which is amazing. Yep. Man, I first scrolled through and thought that said Fatang. I thought it said Fatang. When I first scrolled through, that was the first thing I saw. So there's this comic. It's a great comic of a character swinging a sword through the air, and it says Clang in big words. And there's a comic from way back in the day. I can't even remember who it was. It was a guy and his cat and dog, and the dog and cat hate each other. And he talks about his 2-handed axe proficiency, and then he makes the comment Fatang, Fatang, as if to be impressive. That's what I saw when when I saw Clang. I was like, that would have won for me. If you had written for Tang, that's the winner right there. There is one other thing that you wrote in here. There's an announcement of this plushie pre-order thing, but I want to talk about that in After Dark because I have a non-kid friendly conversation regarding that type of so hopefully I'll remember for After Dark.
The kid-friendly conversation about it is $30 American
for a plushie.
That's like $45 Canadian.
I know, and they're small. They're like this big. They're like 4 or 5 inches.
Seriously, I'd pay $45 Canadian for a freaking Kitava body pillow.
That would be awesome. Oh, you went all this time with no cough, and now I got to add a note.
Yeah, just right. Just keep it, man. Just keep it.
No, I can't do that. All right, well, let's wrap this up. This has been fun. It's nice catching up with you. And you know what? To everybody who's listening, we love your face. Thank you so much for listening. Forever Exiled, episode 262. I'm Justin AK Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons, we will see you in After Dark. I have no clue how that's going to go, but we'll see you in After Dark. Maybe alcohol will help. If you're looking for more information, you can find it down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We have a very fun Discord. Pop in there and say hi. And Patrons are the way to support the podcast. You'll find them down below as well as on the website. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone
in the world.